I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse.
And young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bashir Gray.
Do not have the right to walk up on stage and smack somebody in the face because they said words.
These top artists in the world have done some of the best work of their career.
Yeah.
And the idea that they might be denied because of me is like, oh.
Jim Carrey just revealed why Will Smith is next on the FBI's radar, and it's darker than anyone imagined.
Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. And it really felt like, oh, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
From behind-the-scenes Hollywood parties to allegations of abusing young actors, Carrey has had enough and is spilling the tea on how Smith's suspicious rise might be tied to some sinister activities.
Both bisexual, weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship.
So I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne having with Will. Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up.
With rumors swirling that the FBI is now keeping a close eye on Smith, many are wondering if did something far more sinister help push him to A status. Could Will Smith be the next Hollywood giant to fall stick around because this expose is about to get wild?
Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. And it really felt like, oh, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
Jim Carrey, the legendary actor who's known not just for his roles, but also his unpredictable personality, has been dropping hints left and right. Recently, Carrey left fans speechless when he hinted that Will Smith could be the next major name on an FBI watch list. Yes, you heard that right. The Will Smith you might be thinking, how would Jim Carrey know something this secretive? Well, Hollywood has its inner circles, and Carr's been in the game long enough to have heard whispers from behind the curtains. In fact, he's hinted multiple times in the past about being aware of the hidden realities of the industry. He's openly criticized the power structures in Hollywood, suggesting that there's always more going on than what we see on screen. Jim suggested that names are being tracked, and Will Smith, after that infamous night, might just have added himself to a list you don't want to be on.
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse.
Jim Carrey didn't mince words when he threw shade at the whole debacle between Will Smith and Chris Rock at the Oscars, while promoting Sonic the Hedgehog Carrey, told Gayle King on CBS that he was disgusted by the entire scene. You know, the one where Smith slapped Rock after a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's haircut linked to her alopecia.
Richard! Oh, wow! Wow! Will Smith just smacked the
Carrey was furious, especially after Smith yelled at Rock to keep his wife's name out of his mouth, and then walked away with the Best Actor award for King Richard to Carrey. That was a breaking point. He said it made him sick to see the crowd giving Smith a standing ovation right after what had happened, calling out Hollywood. Carrey slammed the industry for being spineless, suggesting that they'd lost their integrity.
Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. And it really felt like, oh, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
To him, it seemed like Will Smith's rise wasn't just due to talent, but maybe something more behind the scenes, something powerful enough to keep him protected. If it weren't for this unseen protection, Carrey believed Smith would have been kicked out of the Oscars that very night. When Gayle King pointed out that Chris Rock chose not to press charges, Carrey jumped in claiming it was only because Rock preferred to avoid the trouble.
He doesn't want the hassle. I'd announced this morning that I was suing Will for $200 million because that video is going to be there forever. It's going to be ubiquitous.
Now, the question on many people's minds after that Oscars moment was, would this trouble have something to do with Will Smith's alleged protectors? Many believe Chris Rock's decision not to press charges isn't just about avoiding drama, but rather a fear of the alleged power Smith holds in Hollywood. For years, rumors have swirled about how Will Smith's influence might stem from certain activities. Things that people don't want to talk about. These accusations go beyond talent, suggesting that Smith engaged in rituals for power, including some related to gay activities. Jaguar Wright, a singer who's known for exposing the darker side of the industry, has openly accused Smith of these very things.
They're both bisexual. unusual. They do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship.
But it's not just Jaguar Wright making these claims. Even someone close to Smith, his former assistant and friend Bal, has come forward with even more shocking details.
And then I saw acts that I walked in on.
Who'd you walk in on?
Him and Dwayne Martin.
Okay.
Hollywood is the hurry up and wait game.
Perhaps that's why Jada decided to stay away from him. The ex-assistant recently engaged in a conversation with gossip blogger Tasha K. Known for her provocative interviews, it's not unexpected for someone like Brother Bilal to feature on her platform, especially as he's promoting his book, Will Smith: Demonic Circle. During the interview, Brother Bilal alleges that Smith was involved in an encounter with Dwayne Martin. He goes into explicit detail about what he claims to have witnessed, providing graphic descriptions.
Hollywood is the hurry up and wait game. So 3 minutes later, after them telling me, hey, you got eyes on Will, we need him to come watch this.
Apparently, Bal claims to have witnessed a compromising situation between Dwayne and Will. In the dressing room, Bal vividly described the scene, asserting that he walked in on Dwayne, engaging in as with Will over a couch. He said, I opened the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne having with Will. Brother Bal said there was a couch, and Will was bent over the couch, and Dwayne was standing up, him. It was M in there. Ultimately, there is no one to corroborate these claims. We doubt Martin and Smith would even entertain such rumors, given the fact that Bala seemingly had an axe to grind. The self-proclaimed former friend didn't stop at the explicit details, also taking a swipe at the rapper's manhood, likening it to a pinky toe. According to Bilal, this incident occurred in the later years of their relationship.
I'm trying to find is like, this is unlike him, right? So, all right, I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne.
On the other hand, Will Smith's representative is strongly refuting allegations that the actor engaged in a encounter in a dressing room. Years ago, Smith's spokesperson told Page 6 that the assertion is entirely false and fabricated. Well, most people believe that Will Smith's controversies over the years are just coincidences, but as the saying goes, where there's smoke, there's fire. This sentiment is gaining momentum online, especially after actress Garcelle B shared her experiences with the I Am Legend star. What she revealed alongside past claims suggests that there may be much more to Will Smith than meets the eye. B revealed that she and Will had a brief romantic involvement, while he was also involved with Jada. But in light of recent rumors about Smith's alleged relationships with men, this past fling barely scratches the surface of the mystery surrounding his true nature. With more information surfacing, the truth behind Will's private life is becoming harder to ignore and more explosive. Will Smith is one of the biggest names in Hollywood, and with that level of fame, there's always a chance people fabricate stories about him. Despite the wild rumors, Smith has managed to avoid any accusations of major scandals like theft or public misbehavior, yet the persistent speculation about his interest in men continues to swirl. It's not just idle gossip. There's a trail of rumors going back years, supported by notable figures from the entertainment industry and those who've worked closely with him. Now his romantic past is bringing even more attention to these claims. Garcelle B explained that she and Smith went on a few dates, but things fizzled out when she realized Will was getting serious with Jada Pinkett. The moment of clarity came during a phone call where Smith's young son Trey accident revealed that Jada was already in the picture and said, I remember one day calling him and he was in the car and his son with Cherie was in the back. So, he picked up on the car or Bluetooth or whatever it was back in the day, or speakerphone, whatever it was. And he said, hey, how are you doing? And I said, I'm great. I heard his little voice in the background go, is that Miss Jada? And that's when I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one exit stage left, so Boet decided to back out. But now, in light of these recent allegations, people are wondering if that relationship was only a small part of a much larger, more complex story surrounding Will Smith's personal life. But Jada wasn't the only person involved in this picture back then. Apparently, Will Smith's ex-wife, Cher Zampino, also played a key role. Zampino recently appeared on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, where she met up with fellow actress and Housewives star Garcelle B. During their conversation, they discussed how they both dated Smith, but that wasn't the only revelation stirring things up. According to the late actress Alexis Arquette, who passed away in Sherry Zeno, didn't divorce Will just because their relationship ran its course. She claimed it was because Sheree caught Will in bed with another man. Arquette allegedly posted on Facebook when Jada comes out as gay, and her beard husband admits his first marriage ended when she walked in on him servicing his sugar daddy, Benny Medina. Then I will listen to them. Jada, known for her outspoken nature, didn't address Arquette's accusations at the time, and Will stayed silent too. However, it was Sheree Zampino who stepped up to dismiss the claims she criticized Arquette's comments as both vindictive and unfounded, insisting that Will is not and has never been queer.
Not only is it out of line, it's absolutely not true. And I'm offended and I'm hurt.
Despite her defense, the rumor added another layer of complexity to the ongoing speculation surrounding Will Smith's private life. Furthermore, YouTuber Trisha Paytas made allegations against Will Smith, claiming that he intentionally caused harm to her male dancers. She specifically said,
"How about worry about your cheating husband my male dancers, when they didn't want to? How about talk about that?"
However, it appears that Will might have been influenced by the path set by his predecessor, Quincy Jones. For those unfamiliar, Quincy Jones is a multi-talented individual who has worked with icons like Frank Sinatra, Aretha Franklin, and the king of pop, Michael Jackson. Yet his fame doesn't stop there. Rumors about his interest in men have circulated for years, and recent developments suggest there might be some truth to those speculations.
My first musical memory is when I wanted to be a gangster until I was 11, coming from Chicago in the 30s.
Recent disclosures have brought to light the possibility that Quincy Jones may not adhere to conventional S orientations. Startling allegations have emerged suggesting that he wielded influence over the S preferences of notable individuals, including Will Smith and Tupac. These claims hint at his deep involvement within the LGBTQ+ community. Do you remember that unforgettable interview with Tupac? It was a pivotal moment when he revealed the questionable intentions of Quincy Jones. Tupac allegedly disclosed that Quincy had presented inappropriate propositions, hinting at engaging in specific intimate activities. However, the story becomes more complex. Despite the interview reportedly gaining extensive traction on the internet, it was said to have curiously disappeared without any trace. One must acknowledge that a person with substantial power and influence would be capable of orchestrating such a vanishing act, with Tupac no longer here to verify the authenticity of that interview. It's not entirely unexpected that Quincy might be aiming to distance himself from these allegations. Even Napoleon, who was purportedly a close associate of P, swiftly dismissed all rumors and defended Quincy Jones when confronted with the allegations. In an instant, he waved away all the gossip surrounding the matter.
Yeah, I think them rumors about Quincy Jones and all that crazy stuff about Pac was definitely rumors. Pac was about to marry his daughter.
Adding to the speculation about Will, comedian Burt Kerr added his voice to the discourse during an interview with Vlad TV. He recounted an episode involving an audition offer from Will's company, which eventually culminated in an uncomfortable interaction with Will personally, further fanning the flames of discussion.
And he liked me. He was like, "Let's go see a movie." I was like, "Okay."
Burt also mentioned that Will extended an invitation to watch a movie, but his father cautioned him, suggesting that Will probably had alternate arrangements.
And he was like, "Oh, buddy, he's trying to fuck you." I was like,
Burt proceeded to comment that numerous prominent male figures in Hollywood have fantasies about regressing to a younger age. This leads us to Will's suspected associate in these claims. Diddy, similar to Will, Diddy has faced long-standing allegations regarding his S1 facet of these allegations involves a certain circle in his entourage where he purportedly introduces his young musicians to Portuguese practices, a notion that is particularly unsettling.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's.
Rumor also has it Will Smith and Diddy might be involved in hosting some not-so-innocent gatherings. We all know Will and Jada are party monsters. What we didn't realize is that they were also part of Diddy's alleged F-off. But why are they being hunted? Did they appear in the tapes, finance the parties, or did Diddy outright snitch on them?
I know who's here.
After 20 years, she knows your scent.
I know the touch, I know the scent, I know the energy, everything.
As the story continues to unfold, only time will tell how these allegations will impact Will Smith's future. With Jim Carrey's shocking revelations raising even more questions, all eyes are on the next steps the authorities may take. Be sure to stay tuned for updates as we follow this developing situation closely.